Let us close our eyes. Remembering the presence of Supreme Reality, God, Truth, which is all pervading, infinite presence. Present all around, present within. Present in the breath, remembering Sri Gurudev's teaching, your breath is my presence. Presence of my Guru in my breath. I am never alone. I am ever united with Master, ever united with God. I just do not know it, or sometimes I forget. In the breath is the presence of my Master. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shyamacharana Madhyamam Asmad Acharya Paryantam Bande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Ishvaro Gururatmaiti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Sri Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Let us bow to God and Masters, the lineage of Master, saints and sages of all times. Let us bow to the self within. The self within is God and Guru. Let us bow inwardly. I bow also to the presence of God in each of us. Om Tat Sat Om. Please open your eyes. Thank you for joining again. I am grateful that in this challenging time that we are getting together to spend some time to discuss, remember and inspire each other, join to discuss the life and teachings of one of our loving Master, Sri Bhupendranath Sanyal Mahasaya, whom we lovingly call as Sanyal Baba. It was interesting. A good friend of mine, also a disciple and a Kriyavan, reminded me that Swamiji, this is not a difficult time. No time is difficult. It is definitely a challenging time, which means that we have the ability, we have the courage to overcome it, and we will do that. So, with this, we'll go back to our discussion which we have been doing, remembering Sanyal Baba and his life. I mentioned earlier that Sanyal Baba looks like an ancient rishi. Not looks like, Sanyal Baba is an ancient rishi. Looks like a grandfather, filled with love and compassion in his picture. You feel assured that in times of like this challenging time, we feel assured and comfortable that Baba is with us, and Baba's assurance, blessings is with all of us. Sanyal Baba was married. He was a householder. He lived as a householder whole of his life. As I told yesterday, he tried to become monk 4 times, and 4 times something or other happened which did not materialize. His ambition or his desire to become a monk did not happen. Whenever there is a Vasishtha, there is Arundhati. Whenever there is says Gautama, there is Ahalya. Says Vasishtha is not complete without Arundhati. Says Gautama is not complete without Mother Ahalya. Similarly, Sanyal Baba is not complete without his wife, whom we briefly discussed. Her name was Kalidasi Devi. Baba married her when he was 21 and Kalidasi Devi was 10 or 11. She was lovingly called as Guru Ma. So from now onwards, we'll refer her in our discussion as Guru Ma. So we'll call Sanyal Baba and Guru Ma. So they were married in 1898. At that time, in Indian tradition, child marriage was there. So people used to get married, and then the girl would remain with her remain at her father's home till puberty, and then will join her husband. They were married in 1898, but you would be surprised to know, as I told yesterday, they had 4 daughters, 3 sons. Unfortunately, they lost one son, so they were left with 4 daughters and 2 sons. But their life was not together. Sanyal Baba was traveling because of business, because of his profession, because he was a teacher. So most of the time he was traveling here and there, and it was difficult for this young woman, Guru Ma, was to travel with him. So most of the time they would meet once a while. So between 1898 till 1959, when Guru Ma left her body, they stayed briefly between 1910 to 1913 for 3 years, and from 1944 onwards, for 15 years they stayed together. Guru Ma, in her personality, Guru Ma was a very confident lady. You can imagine at that time, in late 19th century, a lady taking care of the whole family without her husband's presence, little income, not much income, so many children, family, visitors, everything. She has to be confident. She was a very confident lady, very bold, strong-willed, and also strict. At the same time, she was very affectionate as well, and we'll discuss today few incidents of her life which will illustrate this aspect, being bold at the same time being affectionate. We often confuse that being bold means to be harsh, but she imbibed both these aspects of life: confident, bold, at the same time affectionate and soft. They had a home in Puri. So if you are ever coming to Baligai or Puri, please do visit. The name of the place is called Guru Dham. Right now there are buildings all around, but at that time there were not anybody was staying. It was a little bit remote place in Puri, near to the seashore, and the nearest place or the nearest building where people used to stay was Shankaramata or the Govardhana Pitha. So Baba was traveling and Ma was staying there with children. Because it was very remote, you can imagine there was possibility of theft, possibility of other difficulties, as you can imagine. One day at night, a thief entered that house, entered that premise, that compound. It was a little, not late night, but just after dinner, and he thought that there is nobody here, I would probably do something. And Ma saw it. She came out and took a stick and beat that thief hell out of, and the thief ran away by herself. Think about a lady at that time in late 19th century facing a thief at late night, beating him up. You know, when I read this, when I'm telling this, when I'm remembering this, it gives me joy that the strength of a woman, the strength of mothers, Nevertheless, she was initiated by her husband. Sanal Baba had initiated her. However, she had a strong faith on Lahiri Mahasaya. So whenever there is some trouble, she would go and pray to Lahiri Mahasaya. In Sanal Mahasaya, in one of his teachings, he says, with firm devotion and constant remembrance of the Guru preceptor, and if we are regular in our meditation and spiritual practice, there will be no delay in receiving divine grace. This is Sanal Baba's teaching, that if our devotion is firm, if our faith is strong, and we are regular in our practice means regular in following the teacher's instruction, the Guru preceptor's instruction, then Baba says that there will be no delay in receiving the grace of Master, the grace of Guru. In Guru Dham, if you visit ever, there is a beautiful statue of Lahiri Mahasaya, very small marble statue, and she would go there and she will pray. If there are any difficulties in the family or in a disciple's family as well, she will go and pray there for the well-being of others. She was very well organized, and as you can imagine that Baba was little relaxed. Baba was not so organized. Baba was little how would I say this? Baba was calm, little relaxed. She was the one who was active in managing the ashram. She needed to be, because she has to manage family, she has to manage 6 children, not much money. So she has to be disciplined, she has to take care of disciples, she has to take care of visitors, she has to take care of family members. Baba would occasionally give her some instructions, but Baba was always in the back. So in modern term, we can say that she was the chief operating officer or the COO. And some of the incident I came across, I read in the book, would tell you how Baba was very respectful towards her. So one day she prepared some food and the food was sour. So Baba is taking food, and Baba realized that the food has developed sourness, or she has put some sour or something like that. So instead of mentioning to her that food is sour, Baba is telling, would you do you have some sweet, like some jaggery at home? Can I use? Very gently. So Baba was always like that, extremely their interactions were extremely gently. A lot of gentleness was there. Now I would like to tell you another incident of another great master, and I would like to think how great masters who were married have lived their life. It is about Sri Ramakrishna and Mother Sarada Devi. One day, Sri Ramakrishna, for some reason, decided to eat some snails. Sri Ramakrishna was not eating anything that is cooked by anybody else. The food has to be cooked by mother. So people would collect whatever vegetable or whatever rice, whatever, mother has to cook and mother has to deliver. Or there were 1 or 2 people who delivered the food to Sri Ramakrishna, only when Sri Ramakrishna will eat. So that day, Sri Ramakrishna was a non-vegetarian. He was eating certain amount of non-vegetarian food. Mother was vegetarian. So Sri Ramakrishna said, today I would like to eat some snails. Can you prepare? And as you can know, it is extremely difficult to cook snails. You have to cross it using stone, then you have to take the flesh out. So mother was not happy to do this. So she said, look, I am not feeling comfortable to cook snails. So looking at her, Sri Ramakrishna became a little stern and says, you know, it is the duty of wife to take care of husband and to make sure that the husband is happy. And if I am feeling happy to eat snails, it is your duty to make some, prepare snails. How can you say this? Mother stepped back and mother cooked snails that day. So Ramakrishna never asked for snail ever again. After Sri Ramakrishna's passing, mother remembered that incident and mother said, in my life, I have never disobeyed him. Whatever he had said, I have accepted it. So it was a teaching for me not to disobey him at all. So this is a teaching for me to break my ego, mother said afterwards. And that is why he played that game with me. He played that incident with me. But you see, if we look at incidents of these great masters, it puzzles us. Another incident I will tell, most of you might be knowing. See, mother used to cook. See, mother means Sarada Devi, Mother Sarada Devi, used to cook food for the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, including Swami Vivekananda and other monks. So she will feed them very well. And since she will feed them very well, at night, if you have a heavy stomach at night, you will sleep. So Sri Ramakrishna was unhappy because they would take a lot of food and they will sleep and they will not meditate. And Thakur was not happy about it. So Thakur went to mother. He said, look, you are feeding them much, you should reduce their food. Instead of giving 5 chapatis, you should give them 2, like that Thakur said. And mother was not happy about it. Mother said, why? I am going to feed them. What is your problem? Thakur said, well, problem means that if they eat like this, they are not going to meditate, they are going to sleep. If they don't meditate, they are not going to get realization. Then mother becomes stern and mother said, if you cannot give them realization, I will. And Thakur backed up. So, how do we explain all this? I try, it is not necessary to explain all this. It is best to read this, remember this, listen to this and be happy about it, because we really do not know them. This inspires us, this gives us joy, and that's what matters. There is a beautiful poem by Rabindranath Tagore. It says, Tomar boshe thaka, amar cholachol, means you sit, you be quiet, I will operate, I will move, I will do the work, you sit quietly. Tomar boshe thaka, amar cholachol, which means that Sanyal Baba or Sri Ramakrishna, Thakur Ramakrishna, they were boshe thaka, means they were sitting quiet. Amar cholachol means Guru Ma or Mother Sarada Devi were the operating principle, the Shakti. They were Purusha, Chaitanya, static, and mothers are mothers are the representative of dynamism, power, energy, Shakti. So this was a play of Purusha Prakriti. The more we look at it, the more joyful we will become. That behind the Purusha, behind the Prakriti is Purusha. Behind that activities, behind mother's activity was Sri Ramakrishna. Behind Guru Ma's activity was Sanyal Baba. Sanyal Baba says, behind darkness, there is brilliant ray of light. What is darkness? One time Sri Guruji said in meditation, often we close our eyes and there is no light, that we see only darkness. So we always think there should light should come. I am not seeing Jyoti. Baba means Sri Guruji said, actually in truth, you are seeing Mother Kali. She is actually not looking at you. Her hair is dark and Mother Kali's hair is flowing, and that's why you see darkness. You constantly observe her, gaze at her, and one day she will turn around. And when she turns around, the light will come towards us, we'll see the dazzling light of Mother Divine. That darkness is Kali. You know, the one meaning of Kali is darkness. There is a song in Bengali, if I remember correctly, it says, Chokher alo. The meaning of this, I'm not able to remember the Bengali versions. If when I close my eyes, oh mother, I see you, you are dark. When the light goes away, at the end of the day, there is darkness, that is also you. Diner sheshe ashe kalima, chokher alo nemle ashe amar kalima, something like that. What is this Kali? What is this darkness? Kali is the possessor of Kala. Like the person who has Bala, strength, we call him Vali. Similarly, the one who possesses Kala is Kali. Kala is time. So, Mother is the possessor of time. In the Durga Saptasati it is said, Striha samasta sakala jagatsu. All women are the representation of Divine Mother. Vidya samasta stavadevi vedaha striha samastaha sakala jagatsu. In Durga Saptasati it is said, every mother is a manifestation of Divine Mother. And in some mother like Guruma or Mother Sarada, the Divine Mother manifests in complete form, in full form. There was an incident, it happened in both these great masters. There was an incident just after Sri Thakur's passing. Thakur passed at the age of 50, mother was 32 at the time, 1885. In 1885, Sri Ramakrishna passed, left his body. Mother's age was 32. So she was young, and some people were not really respectful towards her. They respected Sri Ramakrishna as Bhagavan, incarnation. Somebody said, he said, how it is possible that your incarnation will come and marry somebody who is useless, who is illiterate? Can you imagine that? Even if she has not studied, even if she looks like illiterate, she is actually Mother Kali. In Sanel Maharaj's life also, in Guru Ma's life also, similar thing happened. Many people thought actually that Guru Ma is actually an obstacle in Sanel Baba's spiritual progress. I remembered a story in one monk's life. Not monk, he was a family man. He wanted to become a monk and he left home. And after a few days, after struggling, he came back. His wife said, why did you come back? He said, I had to struggle for food. His wife said, it is good to stay home and practice. Sanal Baba's life would not have been what we know today without Guru Ma. She did not allow him to become a monk. Because of her, Baba could establish his mission. Sanal Baba established his mission, and she was the unofficial manager of household ashram like Gurukulam. And after the mission was established, after the organization was established, she became administrator of the ashram. And I would tell one little story about Guru Ma's leaving. She left her body in 1959. Very interesting. It was late evening. She had cooked food for everybody. Everybody took food. She made sure everybody has taken food. She took food, and after taking food, she left her body. And Baba said afterwards, it was her nature not to give trouble to anybody. She would do maximum effort to make sure that disciples, visitors are not bothered. So she would do whatever she can do for their comfort. And here, just before her death, she also made sure that people take food, because in Indian tradition, as you know, that after somebody dies, people don't take food. She made sure that that everybody is finished, and then she leaves her body. Baba says in one of his teaching, he said the prana has left the body, the life force has left the body. Birth of near and dear one is painful. However, it is our duty for the departed soul not to cry, not to lament, but pray for their forward journey, because death is our eternal companion. She left her body in 1959 and Baba left her body, Sanyal Baba left his body in 1962, 3 years after. It is not written, but I have a feeling that Baba could not take that. He was so associated with, she became such a part of his life that he must have felt an emptiness within him. And that emptiness, even if a spiritual master cries, Sri Yukteswarji cried when his mother passed away. Baba said in teaching, he said, be free from worries and emotion when somebody leaves his or her body. It is possible that the 3 years Baba spent after her death probably was difficult for him. Anyway, this is how she contributed to Baba's life, Baba's mission, and without her, Sanyal Baba was not Sanyal Baba. As I said, without Arundhati, there is no existence of a sister. Without Ahalya, there is no existence, or there is no greatness of Sej Gautama. Without Guruma, the greatness of Sanyal Baba fades. Baba says, in your life, in our life, he means, cultivate stillness and calmness, cultivate tolerance and forbearance, and trust yourself. Sri Guruji says in his teaching, trust yourself first, trust your Guru next, and trust God after. Trust yourself first. Without trusting myself, we cannot trust our master. Without trusting master, we would not be able to trust God. There is a poem by Rabindranath Tagore. He says, Aguner poroshmoni suao prane ejiborn purna karo dahan dane. O Lord, O Master, ignite the fire of knowledge in my life. Aguner poroshmoni suao prane. E jivana purna karo. After that only, when we ignite that fire of knowledge, my life would be fulfilled. Let us meditate and pray, remembering Sanyal Baba and also remembering Guruma, their life together, and may their life, their teaching ignites fire within us for God's realization, to realize truth. Let us close our eyes. In the breath, remembering Sanyal Baba, taking a slow, long, deep inhalation. Inhale, hold, gently bending forward. Exhale. Presence of Master in the breath. Inhale, hold, slowly sitting up. Exhale. Let us strive to trust ourselves, trust the self within. And mentally pray, O Lord, may we ignite the fire of knowledge within me and make my life fulfilled. Fulfillment means realizing truth. May all of us realize truth, realize reality. May the blessings flow continuously within. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. May there be no sorrow, no difficulty in anyone's life. May there be peace, tranquility, happiness all around. Let us also mentally pray those who have left because of the situation these days. May their soul rest in peace and move forward to higher planes of existence. May the blessings of God and Gurus, especially today, the blessings of Sanyal Baba and Guru Ma, protect us, guide us. Om Tat Sat Om. Please open your eyes. There is an announcement I would like to make. Today at 8:30 p.m. Indian time, the ashram would broadcast in Zoom a singing and chanting by some of our monks and brahmacharis. It would be similar to like what we are doing. You would be able to join in Zoom. The meeting ID would be available right now in the chat section, so please refer to that. And most welcome to join with your family members. Everyone can join. It would be lead and follow. We can do kirtans and we will do some Sanskrit chanting as well, and also we will do prayer for everyone else. With this, I take leave. Again, my heartfelt gratitude to all of you to join. It is a blessing for me to read a little bit about Sanyal Baba, which I have been thinking to read for a while, to read, reflect and share with you Baba's life and Baba's teachings. Om Tat Sat Om. Thank you.